grab your cup of tea. It's story time. Let's talk about retreats. Let me see, I haven't even written down how many retreats, it doesn't matter, but I've been hosting retreats now since I think Mars was, my son was 1. Yeah, so, and he's 4. So a few years now, I've been hosting retreats in Europe, Portugal, in England, in Jamaica. Haven't yet in Miami yet because waiting to get visa stuff, but I would highly suggest a retreat is an amazing opportunity to delve into yoga in such an immersive way where you're meeting people from all walks of life and you don't know any of these people, all different ages, different reasons why they decided that they want to come on a yoga teacher training. Now, yoga teacher training, the YTT Alliance, first of all, it's based in the US. It should be based in India or Egypt if you want to take it even further back to Kemet when they were practicing Kemetic yoga. We'll talk about that in another episode because there are many sources now that show that actually yoga came from Egypt and many people were practicing it there. It's, of course, obviously the roots that we know are from India, and what we have been taught on our teacher trainings are from India. So, but we're not going to get into all that today. I would suggest going on a retreat because first of all, you've got to find the right teachers or teacher. You've got to find a location that suits you. But to me, it's the best way to immerse yourself because for those pivotal moments in your life where you want to change, whether that's change of job, you've going through a breakup, you're at a real high in your life and you want to learn something new, or you're at a real low in your life and you want to be immersed in something new, I would suggest going on a retreat for that reason, because they have something for everybody, whether that's the meditational aspect, whether that's the rest, the swimming, the meeting new community, the eating vegetarian-based foods. Usually it's vegetarian-based foods. And it just opens your mind up to a different way of practicing. So I would highly suggest some retreats. And before you ask, no, I don't have any lined up, but yes, there are going to be some in Jamaica. We have lots in the pipeline working at the moment, so bear with me, I keep saying that every year, but there will be some. And the power of retreats for me, is community and taking you out of your comfort zone. I think every time I've been on a retreat for myself, I leave a little brighter. I for sure leave a little looser, less tight. Everything's like not as, tight and in my 39th year. Let's bring this conversation now to children. Now, I was teaching when I was pregnant up until 40 weeks, 4 days. Still doing my headstands with Mars in the belly. I loved practicing while I was pregnant. It was such a nice feeling, practicing pregnant. It's not for everybody, but it definitely made me feel really good, really strong. And I enjoy the practice. Now, when Mars got to about 6 or 7 months and he could sit up, we would practice breathing. We'd go up and then, and I said, every time you want to feel calm, baby boy, we're gonna breathe in and we're gonna breathe out. And we would practice this one simple breath to the point where from 8 months, 9 months, he knew. Breathe in. And we do that before we read books. We still to this day do that every night before we read a book. Take a few breaths in, really deep breaths. And interestingly, when I am out of sorts or he feels that I'm in a different headspace or he feels I'm angry or upset, he tells me to take a breath now. He tells me to take a breath. It is the most amazing thing. It makes me feel so emotional. When my friend passed last month, and I was crying at the sink as I was washing up the dishes, he came behind me and he said, "Mummy, are you sad or mad?" And I said, "Mummy's sad." He said, "I think you should take a breath." And I turned around to him and I was like, "Do you know what? You're right. Mummy needs to take a breath." And we took a breath together when I cried. And it was the most... Children need that practice. They need to know how they can access that for themselves, to calm their own systems, to check in with their own minds and bodies, to realize they can ground themselves and anchor themselves in any moment. And it's interesting because sometimes when I see him out or around the house or whatever and he's getting frustrated, he will take a breath. So it works. I would highly suggest implementing that into, the children around you. Okay guys, I'm finishing off today's talk. It's been a long one, hasn't it? With some quotes just from some journals that I'd written across the years that I really like. I had put why in one of my journals back in 2013, and I'd written the why was to deepen your spiritual practice in life. For me, it's about connection. It's about connecting yourself physically with things outside of yourself, right? Trees, plants, nature, people, the energy of life. When I walk past a tree of ravens or blackbirds or crows, whatever, I'm looking up and I'm seeing the blue on their feathers, and Mars does the same, maybe through nurture nature. But I think that if we notice those things more, connect ourselves more with our surroundings, with energy, life force, that's replicated, right? So to deepen your spiritual practice in life. The next one I wrote was, it can be hard, yoga. It can be hard, ugly, emotional. It's not all rainbows, it's not all smiles, but uncovering those parts can help us with acceptance, and then we can in turn move past that narrative, that story that we play out continuously. So for me, when you go to a class that doesn't feel right and makes you feel extremely emotional, extremely angry, that's also the lesson. So sometimes you can go to a yoga class and it's not going to make you feel, "Oh, wow, I feel amazing, I feel alive, I feel loosey-goosey." No, it's not that. You're going to cry, you're going to feel pain, you're going to be, you're going to feel something potentially that makes you feel uncomfortable, but that's also part of the work. So there's this whole thing that it's not like, "Oh, everything's amazing, blah, 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 blah." Everything's not amazing. There's yin, there's yang, there's light, there's dark, and it all matters, and it's all the lesson and the journey. And then my last one was to get to know the inner workings of your mind, to observe mind and body. We are living within it, but it isn't our soul. Again, I'll repeat that. To get to know the inner workings of your mind, to observe mind and body. We are living within it, but it isn't our soul. So these thoughts all the time that are running around, and this, "Oh, I've got a bad shoulder, I've always had a bad shoulder, da 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 da," they're just attachments, right? Through meditation, you can realize that you can release yourself from that. I'll give you an example. I was meditating once, really struggling, got past like about 15 minutes. There was pain in my right knee, crazy pain. The pain just went completely and utterly gone. Through breath, through focus. Some of you are going to say, "Yeah, but I can't meditate for a minute." I would suggest finding a teacher online or going to Insight Timer. It's a free app. This is not an ad, but go to Insight Timer and find yourself a space holder, a teacher, a practitioner that you really enjoy the sound of their voice, and just practice 1 minute a day, 2 minutes a day. When I was pregnant, I was practicing every morning for 30 to 40 minutes every single morning because I was alone. I had a lot of peace and time. Now I can't do that with Mars, so I fit in the day. 5 minutes here, 2 minutes in the morning, half an hour, Actually, I'm not gonna lie, I've not done 30 minutes for a while, but at night time, I'll try and at least throughout the week, I'm integrating the meditational part of the practice. We want good mental health. We want to feel healthy. And I'm summing up this video by saying, I truly believe that that is what yoga can help us all in some way. You might decide that vinyasa is better suited for you, ashtanga, more vigorous, strengthening. You might prefer restorative. I love restorative, laying down in shavasana for an entire session with yoga nidra, also one of my favorites. You might like just doing a headstand every day because you love the way that it opens up your pineal gland, opens up your third eye, makes your anahata, your heart space, open, right? There are different asanas for different energy points of the body that help open yourself up physically. I also want to talk about this. I found this very, very interesting to end with. In traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, they talk about meridians. I've been reading a lot about fascia of recent, and actually the fascia and the meridians, they're kind of as one. They're running in the same pathways. Fascia is the electrical current made up of water that surrounds the muscle. It's on top of the muscle. It's a layer on top of the muscle. It's also, when you look at where the fascia is in your energy points, it's completely surrounding these points of the body, okay? It's completely integrated. Traditional Chinese medicine, they know what they're doing. They've been knowing. All this new fascia research, it's incredible, but it's the same system. I'd like to finish, if you guys are up for it, with a tongue stretch and a face stretch. You can practice these day to day. I definitely do my eye ones every day, which can help strengthen your eyes. So take a seat. We're going to finish today with a little release of the muscles in the face, and then a very soft body scan and some breathing. So let's take a seat and gently close the eyes. So let's take a seat and let's gently close the eyes. Take a big inhale breath in and a slow breath out. Keeping the eyes closed, look all the way to the left ear, stretching out the eye. Inhale. Bring the gaze back to center. Exhale. Inhale. Bring the gaze all the way to the right. Exhale back to center. Inhale, gaze all the way down to the nose. Exhale to center. Inhale, gaze all the way up to the forehead. Exhale to center. Gently squeeze the eyelids together, and then with your peace fingers, just very softly stroke the tops of the eyelids. And release the hands. Next, we're going to stretch out the mouth and the jaw. So in yoga, we would call this the lion's breath, which would be to stick out the tongue on the exhale and look up. So you're inhaling, and with the exhale, you. What this does in terms of fascia, so you're stretching out the tongue, and you can stretch this out in your own time for 40 seconds if you'd like to take it that far. You're going to feel release from neck, shoulder, spine. It is incredible. I try to do this at least once a day when I'm feeling tightness around my jaw. So you're going to take an inhale breath in. Exhale, stick the tongue out. 2 more. Inhale, breath in. Exhale, stick the tongue out. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, tongue out. Bring the tongue back into the body. Let's stretch out the facial muscles. So you're going to squeeze the eyes, the nose, the lips, everything in together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Take an inhale. Exhale, release those muscles. Let's do the shoulders. Inhale, squeeze shoulders to ears. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, let them drop. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Nice. With those hands, release the fingertips and stretch out the palms, stretch out the fingertips, and then make tight fists for 3, for 2, for 1. Take an inhale. Exhale, release, and shake out the hands. These were some of the practices that we were taught in our Sampurna yoga teacher training. You can repeat these for however long. I try to do the eye exercises every morning and every night. They can help strengthen the eyes. You can also start to do big circles, which we'll do at a later date once we get to the asana based practices of this channel. Thank you for listening to me today. It's been a long one. Most likely going to break this up into several parts, but one love, peace and love and all that jazz, and I hope that you can take something from today. Hey doggy, hey. I hope you can take something from today that, yeah, that feels, it's okay. That feels, yeah. If you're feeling called to practice, you can ask me any questions. I also, yes, I do one-on-ones, and I'm teaching at the moment in Jamaica and online. So peace and love, guys. One love, and I'll see you tomorrow.